Hey everybody, it's Texas Master X. Welcome back to another episode of Pokemon LeafGreen. In the last episode, we went to the first few towns and got our first gym badge. This episode, we're gonna probably... Actually, no, we're gonna go through the next route. That's for sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, and these are the only games in the series which have this feature, but it'll show you what you did last time you played, which is kind of cool. It's mostly useless though. But it can be a good refresher for you. For some, of course, I edited this video the other day, so it's not really refreshing much for me. Anyways, let's be done with that. And let me show you what I've accomplished since the last episode. First of all, I decided to teach Rock Tomb to Mankey. I didn't actually have any instructions in my plans about what to do with Rock Tomb, so I just did what I wanted. Because I'm a free spirit. And I also count these Pokemon. I didn't raise them, but here they are. I'll probably raise them later, but I just didn't get around to it. That's not what I want to do. That does remind me, what's in my, there's nothing in there. Is there anything that should be in there? No. I don't have, any items. Good. I'm glad. Why we had this talk today. Alright, so now that we're done with Brock, we can proceed to the east. And before, if you tried to go here, this guy would have stopped you, but now he's gonna do something much better. Oh, Blue, I'm glad I caught up to you. I'm Professor Oak's aide. I've been asked to deliver this, so here you go. And you get the running shoes, a very useful item. Press the B button to run, but only where there's room to run. That means, basically, you can't use it in most indoor areas, which is kind of annoying. Dear Blue, here's a pair of running shoes from my beloved challenger. Remember, I'll always cheer for you. Don't ever give up. From Mom. Thank you, Mom. And now we head on to the next route. And without further ado, battle this first trainer. Excuse me, you looked at me, didn't you? Oh yes. So, as I mentioned at some point in the last couple of episodes, there was no female character in the original Generation 1 games. So, I think that these writers of the text for this game, they wrote the trainer dialogue with you being a male trainer in mind. So they thought it'd be funny if a girl trainer thought you were perving on her. So, remember that this was released in 2004, and that Japan, in the modern day, is probably less accepting of same-sex couples as the United States is. And it makes me pretty sure that they just forgot to change the text. Or, I don't think they forgot, they just didn't bother. They didn't want to think of some other thing for them to say. Because there is other text later on which is changed, specifically because you play as a girl. And we'll get to see that later on. But it's only when they have absolutely no choice. Anyway, Asshawk level up to level 10. You're mean. You shouldn't be staring if you don't want to battle. I wasn't staring. I was literally walking in front of you, and you walked all the way up to me. And now you're accusing me of staring? What kind of kangaroo court is this? Hey, I saw you in Viridian Forest. I'm pretty sure if you check the names of all the bug catchers in Viridian Forest, none of them are named Colton, so this guy's just completely lying. Actually, seeing this Caterpie reminds me of something. And that's the fact that normally, if you actually raised a Caterpie rather than just putting it in the box and not raising it like I did, you would find out that at level 7 it evolves into Metapod, and at level 10 it evolves into its final form, Butterfree. But this trainer has a level 10 Caterpie that hasn't evolved at all. And this has been infuriated many a Pokemon YouTuber over the years, but I have a theory about why that is the case. I think that in-universe, the evolution levels are not set in stone and they're based on your skill as a trainer. This explains why a certain trainer we'll meet later has Pokemon that evolved earlier than they should have. And actually there's various other trainers throughout the games that do this, especially in the early generations. And there's also certain trainers who have base level Pokemon when they should have evolved already, because some trainers are less or more skilled than your player character. So, to explain why the evolution levels are the same in each game, and they never change the evolution methods, that's just because all the trainers in every game are so happen to be equally skilled for the convenience of the player. So that's my theory. Make of it what you will. You have your own theory? Leave your comments in the comment section below and tell me your theory about why there's level 10 Caterpies. Because, someone's definitely going to do that. Alright. Hi, I like shorts. They're delightfully comfy and easy to wear. This trainer's kind of famous. I'm not sure why. His name is Ben. Hopefully he doesn't have any water types, because then he might drown. And so far this battle is not going well. I guess Spearow is a bit underwhelming at this point in the game. But it's okay, it'll get better. So looking at my team, I am going to be sticking with this exact same team for the second gym fight. However, before I get to the third gym, I'm going to change it up quite a bit. See, most people, they'll just have the same 6 Pokemon pre-decided at the beginning throughout the entire game. Because I'm too cool for that, I like to change up my lineup as I go throughout. And yay, Mary is level 6. I promise that someday I'm going to explain that nickname, but today is not that day. I just don't have the energy to. I'm old and decrepit. So I'm going to try attempts to be clever here. Oh, never mind, I can't escape now. If you get hit by Rap, you cannot switch out. If you think that sucks, Rap was a lot worse in the first generation. Because you know how you get damaged a little bit by Rap at the end of each turn? Well, in first generation, you couldn't attack. You just had to sit there for 5 turns and take it. But you could switch out. But it was still pretty broken. It's because it was basically just a several turn lock on you being able to do anything. And this battle is not going well, so I wish I could switch. But I may have to resort to, actually healing. He said attacking and not actually healing. Oh, thank goodness. Alright, Joe Biden, we're getting you out of there. Looking back, I'm not sure why I named my Bulbasaur Joe Biden. I legitimately cannot remember any sort of motivation for me doing this. And I would say if he runs for president in 2020, it will be a very awkward thing. But hopefully I'll be done with this Let's Play before then. However, knowing me, it will probably keep going on until 2025 when, Mark Zuckerberg or whoever is president in, he uses all of his data that he collected from us to just start a police state. Because, that's going to happen. Confirmed. Alright. Let's continue onward as such. So here's what the running shoes do. You hold B and you run. Do what Sinistar commanded you. Alright, onwards with the route. That look you gave me, it's so intriguing. So rather than accept the explanation I gave earlier, we could just say that all the trainers on this route who are like acting this way towards you are actually lesbian or bisexual. I mean, I guess that'll work. You can't really argue with this, except by pointing out the obvious, which is that Game Freak didn't actually intend that. I mean, in Pokemon Sun and Moon, there's a certain character in there which Game Freak went out of their way to try and like make it seem like she wasn't bisexual when she could have been. So, yeah, that's the thing. I would go into that whole thing, but I don't really want to spoil the game. Once Ultra Sun and Moon come out, I'll spoil the game. So, because I'll assume that anyone who's that behind can just mute the audio. But for now, I'll go Sun and Moon spoiler free. Because someone could be like me and... Well, okay. I was gonna say someone could be like me and Pokemon X and never actually finished it. But it didn't actually take me that long to beat Pokemon X. I beat that game in about a month, which is very fast for me. I'm not a fast player because I am always doing schoolwork and stuff. But despite that, my friends who beat the game in like 3 or 4 days claimed that I was taking forever to beat it, but they're just full of crap. Unless you consider a month forever. Yes, still not happy about that after all these years. Yeah, you just harden on. That's gonna do so much good. Oh yeah, I should mention a couple things that are happening. My audio quality might be a little bit worse than usual. And I think because the house I'm in right now has a really loud air conditioning unit. And hold on a second. Yeah, I'll get rid of growl. Where's I going with that? Yeah. For some reason it's like messing with Audacity, even because I'm doing noise reduction to try and get rid of it. But then like... Alright, you guys probably remember yesterday that like one part where I started talking about her hair color was recorded like yesterday. Or it wasn't yesterday, but it was like a couple days ago. So that problem was very prevalent there. I noticed my audio quality was noticeably worse than usual. It was really like top heavy. Like there wasn't like the normal amount of low overtones to it. It kind of bothered me. Also, I don't know why I sent out Pikachu. It's Pikachu! I'll send out Mary's to finish it off because Benefide can't do any harm. Yeah, so I'm doing noise reduction on Audacity to try and get rid of the air conditioning, which just came back on while I was talking about that. And it's working pretty well, but it's also it made my voice sound a little bit funny. I changed the setting on my microphone, and I think it sounds better now. So hopefully it sounds okay. I'm not sure how this is going to turn out. I'm doing the best I can. And so I wasn't even paying attention to what that guy said. Alright, Tumbler, you're up. Now, jump on this ledge. You see that little dark spot in the ground? Those are berries. They weren't in the original game. Hey, you're not wearing shorts. What's wrong with you? Fun fact. It is summer when I'm recording this, and I'm not wearing shorts right now. I'm wearing jeans. But there's a specific reason why. Well, actually, there's multiple specific reasons. First of all, I have the habit of wearing jeans during the summer because of in the place where I grew up, there were a lot of mosquitoes out, or like just bugs and other stuff. And having jeans gave me a layer of protection between them. Karate chop. Alright, randomly racist for no reason. I probably won't run into that many heavy things, so I'll get rid of low kick. That Onyx was pretty much the only thing that you'd see in the early game that's like real heavy. Lost! But yeah, what was I talking about? No. Yeah, to keep the bugs off. And during like other seasons, I still wear jeans because when I was in like 7th grade, not that way. All the shorts I had were too short for me, so whenever I wore them to school, these kids on the very back of the bus would yell comments, and I was like, oh no. So I started wearing jeans like every day. And now that's not really relevant for 2 reasons. Number one, because nowadays, at least in my state, girls wear like extremely short shorts, so I can just bring up the argument of like, if they can, why can't I? And second of all, I actually have shorts that fit me now, because I kind of needed them for marching band, which started a couple years after that. But yeah, so that's not an issue anymore, but I'm still, and also, this place isn't quite as bad about the bugs, so I could probably be okay wearing shorts. However, I'm still not, because I have, what's it called? Ringworm on my legs, and I'm trying not to spread it to anyone else. Or at least the doctor thinks it's ringworm. It's not itchy, and ringworm is usually itchy, so it's kind of weird. At least it's not very itchy. It's like a little bit. Not enough to like, I don't know. It's probably a ringworm, and ringworm is contagious. So, trying to be considerate here. It's Metapod. Metapod will not be a threat. It's my favorite thing to do, just sing along with the song and sing it in a different key and listen to how awful it sounds. Done like dinner. Alright. I think we can continue on. This person is the best trainer. Eek, did you touch me? No, I didn't. I think, she'll even say that if she sees you and starts the battle, but I don't know her. I don't know. I don't think she does, actually. So you have to at least be in the tile next to her. So she's not completely paranoid. But yeah, here's Jigglypuff, who is one of Blue's signature Pokemon in the manga. I won't be using Jigglypuff because it's not that good. Critical hit. Excellent. Speaking of Jigglypuff, you can find them in the grass here. You can also find a a few others. Nidoran male, Nidoran female. You can also still find like Mankey, I think. I'm not going to be catching them right now. We'll run into all those Pokemon later on down the road. But just, I want to save... I don't want to take up too much video time. So I will catch them... Actually, can I catch them off screen? At some point, it may not be like right after this recording session, but at some point later on down the road, I'll catch a Jigglypuff and a Nidoran and stuff.